Hi guys, welcome back to Just a Geek in the Garage. Today I want to talk about small tools, and are smaller tools actually more useful than their larger brothers and sisters here. So in front of me I have a few of the most popular tools on the market at the moment, or at least that I see. And I have the regular version that most people are familiar with. So we have the 9-inch slip joint needle nose, the 8-inch regular slip joints, the 10-inch alligators, and then all these small ones right here are going to be their 5-inch equivalent. These are all snap-on. This one obviously is not a Knipex. This is a Workpro. Shout out to Doc over at Last Best Tool. He did a little review on this thing, I think a few days ago, and I was able to pick one up. He also did a review on the 4-inch version of these, but they've been sold out for a while, so I wasn't able to get my hands on them. But honestly, at this size, I have a hard time believing that a 4-inch one is going to be that useful, at least to me, for what I use. But when they come back in stock, I'll try to pick some up and maybe compare them to these ones as well. But first note of all of these pliers that you're looking at right here, no joke, my most used plier that I pick up almost every single day for lots of jobs is going to be this guy right here. So I actually had, even though I don't currently have a Snap-on dealer, I was able to walk onto a Snap-on truck about a few months ago when these things were kind of at their peak popularity, and I was thinking about just buying the middle version of this. This is the 9, this is the 5. I think there's also a 7. I don't have it here with me right now, it's in my toolbox, but I was just wanted to buy the 7, figured get the best of both worlds and be done with it. But he had a promotion where you could get the 9, 7, and 5 as a package deal, and it was a very good price at the time. The price for that on the website right now, I think, is about $200 for those 3. So still, quite expensive, but I was able to get a decent discount. Plus, he was a nice guy and threw in a free hat because it was my first time on his truck as well. But again, I got these guys. They're sat in my toolbox for a week or two, and then I decided to take them out because before these ones, one of my most useful ones was going to be something like these engineer needle nose, which are a similar size, but these ones are slip joint, so you can get a little bit more, get the mouth open a little bit wider to grab onto some larger fasteners. And I find myself using this, whether I'm doing 3D printing, or anything else, something where I just need to get into a smaller space, be able to get a lot of leverage. I mean, the Talon grip on these things, Snap-on is famous for the Talon grip on their pliers, and they just seem to fit, very well and work in a lot more situations than their bigger brother here. So this one right here, I recently got. I've only had this one for a very short time, and I only picked this one up because I found this one so useful. I feel this one is not going to be necessarily something I use every day, but I can definitely see a lot of potential use cases for this because this arguably the what are these, the 47 ACF, the traditional 3-position slip joint pliers from Snap-on are probably their most popular plier of all time, or at least this is the one that I see most common. This along with their regular needle nose, and then obviously this one is a fairly new addition, but has really gained popularity. It's that meme tool that can pick up a coin, whatever it happens to be. And then obviously Harbor Freight Icon has a version of this as well, but only in this size, not in the smaller size. And then last up here, we have the alligator. So these function basically the same. Again, this is the actual Knipex brand. So I mean, literally, no brand's really going to beat this one. There's going to be a few that come close that are maybe a little bit better value, considering these guys are probably around $35 or so. Average price is what you can get them for. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, depending on where you're getting them. Plus, they're rebranded on certain trucks, and they become more expensive because of that. But these, I think, were kind of a game changer for a lot of people. And I hesitated to buy these pliers because I have some cheaper versions like Irwin's and things like, and Doyle, things like that. But when I got these, I definitely did not regret getting them. And Snap-on even finally came out with their own new version of this one, but they're about $90 or $80. And from what I'm seeing in the reviews, they're not quite as good as these ones. I will probably do a video on a lot of versions of Knipex pliers in the future, because this is just their traditional. There's also what's called the alligator style. There's the automatic adjustment, and from what I'm hearing, and I have to probably do a little bit more research, is that, you know, they have one that's the twin grip that has the hole right here so you can grab onto like rusted off fasteners or rounded fasteners. And I hear that they're going to possibly integrate that into this style as well, which honestly for me would be awesome because it kind of takes care of, you know, kills two birds with one stone. And these are the Workpro versions. These things are like, you know, 12, 13 bucks on Amazon. Last I checked, these were still in stock. Doc did a full, you know, review on these, so I definitely suggest you, you know, go over and look at Last Best Tool. You know, hit a breakdown to see if it's, you know, things are interchangeable with the actual Knipex brand. But for me, this is more of a video just saying, hey, you know, is it worth it to buy these little guys versus, you know, only having their bigger brother? And honestly, I say yes. I mean, this thing, like I said, by far the most useful plier I have in the garage. Probably second by, you know, something just like a small needle nose. But again, you know, I work on smaller things here, electronics, things like that. So, you know, for a mechanic or, you know, someone working on larger things, they might not be as useful. But so I got these guys. So, you know, initial, you know, review on this or initial thoughts is actually, you know, decently smooth. I mean, there's a couple of hiccups in the gears, but, you know, you can get there. One thing I did notice is that, you know, if you press the button all the way, it tends to get stuck and you have to kind of jiggle it. So if you only kind of press it halfway to get it to where you want, it seems to work better. But I was able to get this thing, I mean, again, it's a little 5-inch pliers. And I was able to open up roughly about halfway and get it onto a 17 millimeter bolt and was able to turn it. Granted, it took a little bit more force than if I was to put, you know, a wrench or something designed for it. But, you know, something like this for, especially if you have, you know, an EDC kit, everyday carry kit, something like this would be great, especially if you were to pair it with something like this that, you know, I've shown in the past a few times, where you have that, you know, the original meme tool kit from Icon with some additional sockets. I know I've seen some 3D printed cases where they have something to the equivalent of this, so I might, you know, try that out for myself and give you a review on the channel, so that we can kind of carry everything around with you in one box. But honestly, for, you know, 12 or 13 bucks, I definitely recommend this. I mean, I think the Knipex version is at least twice or three times the price. And what I feel is that when you're getting the tools in this particular size range, you're not going to be putting a lot of force on them. I mean, it's very difficult to get a lot of leverage on something this small. So, you know, the likelihood of it breaking is going to be a lot less. But it's definitely nice to have, especially if you're carrying it around, maybe tossing it in the car, things like that. So, are smaller tools better than the larger tools? I wouldn't necessarily say better, but honestly, very, very useful. I highly recommend at least, you know, a couple of the smaller guys, because when you're trying to get into, you know, a small space, even if you have a needle nose like this, I mean, you can see obviously the size difference in getting into a place, so you might not be able to get into it with the full size. So tell me what you guys think. Do you guys have these little pliers? Do you find them useful, or are they just simply a waste of money? And with that, you know, please like and subscribe. Thank you.